Christina Murray was finally living her lifelong dream of being a mother.
He was beautiful and perfect, but it was also very clear that something was wrong.
After a grueling round of IVF and 9 months of pregnancy, Murray, a white woman using a white sperm donor, gave birth in late 2023 to a baby boy with a much darker complexion.
My son's skin tone didn't match mine, but he was still my son.
She ended up giving birth to a stranger's baby, and that baby was a brother. No, that baby was black. Stranger black baby, stranger black baby.
What should have been a joyful first few months bonding with her son, who she loved and wanted to raise, was punctuated by constant fear and uncertainty.
I didn't know whether it was a sperm mix-up or whether he was someone else's.
Murray took a DNA test that confirmed her baby wasn't hers biologically. The clinic she'd used, Coastal Fertility Specialists, eventually determined that they'd mistakenly implanted another couple's embryo in Murray. The biological parents sued her for custody, and Murray chose to give the baby she loved up to them rather than fight.
And I walked out of the building with an empty stroller, and they left with my son.
And what was it like going home alone?
Probably the hardest thing I've ever done.
Honestly, this has to be devastating. I don't know what it'd be like as a mother to have a child, raised and grow with you for 5 months. She probably wants to visit that baby every once in a while. Like, hey, how you doing? I raised you for 5 months and I'm not your mom technically, but hey, But this feels like man-made horrors beyond our comprehension. Like, I've never heard of a case like this before. And it feels like this is something that wouldn't exist like 100, 200 years ago, right? This is like new age, like techno hell stuff. Giving birth to other people's babies. Like, yeah, that sounds like a nightmare techno scenario.
Murray now suing the clinic, which said in a statement to NBC News that it deeply regrets the error, calling it an isolated event with no further patients affected. The clinic also saying it's since conducted an in-depth review and put additional safeguards in place. Her story is rare but not unprecedented in the world of fertility treatment, which experts say is largely unregulated.
There's no reliable data or disclosures about how often IVF goes unjustifiably wrong.
From everything we've seen from her, she definitely does seem she was genuinely happy, genuinely wanted to love and nurture and care for her son, and wanted to keep him. I think it also is devastating to see all the people that she says, like, people were coming up to her saying, hey, who's the father of the baby? What's going on with your baby? They're like kind of insinuated that she like took someone else's baby, because obviously the baby looks different to her, right?
Even after the trauma of the last year and the legal process ahead, Christina, who's 38 and single, isn't giving up on her hopes of one day becoming a mother.
I have started the process over again with another clinic, and I'm hopeful that in the next year or two I can try again.
They destroyed my life. It's affected the lives of his parents who didn't get their child for the first 5 months. Whatever needs to be done to protect anyone trying to build their own family so that this isn't something that happens again.
Damn, there's no way for her to win in this scenario. Even if she gets the child back, now she's the bad mother who's stealing somebody else's family, and then they're gonna come on the news saying, well, we want our baby back. And now she's trying to find out maybe her eggs were implanted in someone else. This is honestly a pretty sad scenario. Like, I'm sure she had to pay like hospital bills, all sorts of different things for raising a child for 5 months. And now she has no child. All she has is just bills and regret, I guess. Regret for trusting this in vitro clinic to help her have a child, and then immediately having to give it away because it wasn't even hers. I think she was hoping that the baby was half hers. I think that's where the line was. She was probably hoping that the baby was half hers. That way she could say, like, okay, they made a mistake. Maybe they gave her the wrong donor, but it's still genetically, her fertilized egg. But no, it's just not hers altogether. So she can see like she wanted to keep the baby. She wanted to keep it as long as she didn't want to keep it, right? Holy shit, dude. How does something like this happen? Now she has another child that she literally gave birth to, that she's going to warn her about for the rest of her life. But hopefully she can have her own child and have her own peace, and maybe put some of the, grief of the situation behind her. Hopefully she gets some contact with him in the future. Later.